Okay, so what I've done here is I have bought some Waterslide decal paper for inkjet. They make it for inkjet and for laser. So just went ahead and printed off my logo. Basically what you're wanting to do is to obviously figure out where you want your logo to be placed and how large that logo needs to be roughly. And then I use Adobe Illustrator. I import my logo design into Adobe Illustrator, obviously, and then I use my measurements on the guitar headstock to scale the image to those dimensions. And then I'll print off a test sheet with one of these on it on just regular paper. Place it on the headstock, make sure that the proportions look correct, and then move on to putting it on the Waterslide decal paper, which is pretty inexpensive. Got it on Amazon. If I can figure out exactly which vendor I got it from, I'll put it in the link in the description. But otherwise, if you're using an inkjet, you want to make sure that this ink is fully dry. So I'm talking at least 24 hours of letting this dry. I just printed this off for the sake of the video, which I'll be using these later on anyway. But the reason that you need your paper to be completely dry is that you are going to be applying a clear coat finish to the decal. You cannot use this if there's not a clear coat finish on it. They do recommend an acrylic. What I would say to you is whatever finish that you are using on your guitar, it needs to be the exact same finish that you put over your Waterslide decals. If you do not put a clear coat finish on your decals, as soon as you put these in water, they will shrivel up and turn into jelly so fast. It's kind of actually fun to watch, but it renders them completely useless. So you have to put clear coat, just one coat, over your Waterslide decals and let that fully dry. So I use Crystalac Bright Tone instrument finishes. I think they're amazing. So it's winter, so I don't spray in the wintertime. I actually brush it on. Takes a little more effort to do that, but I found that if you don't let this fully dry, if you try to brush it on there, it'll smear pretty badly, which is why I print off so many. It's cheap and it's just ink. So, you might yield 10 out of 50 logos just because of the smearing. But I digress. So once you get your clear coat on there, let this fully dry. Then you're going to want to cut out your logo or whatever it is you're putting on your guitar with Waterslide decal, and you want to keep relatively close to the outer edge of your design. You don't want like a big giant square. It just looks ugly and it is harder to make disappear. When you put your clear coats on, it just kind of sticks out. So you want to keep close to your design, but you want to leave enough of it on there to actually be able to pull the decal off. So try to keep like within, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch or so around your whole design. And you should be good to go. So with that being said, we're going to move on to the next stage of the video, and I'll kind of show you how that works in real life, applying one of these guys. So stay tuned. Alrighty folks, we're ready to apply the decal to the headstock. So I went ahead and cut it out of our master sheet. It's got its clear coat applied to it already. We're going to be using some warm tap water to apply the decal, and that is going to allow the decal to be slid onto the headstock with no wrinkles or anything like that. So I'm just placing it on there to make sure I kind of like the position of it. And then we drop it into our warm water. Make sure to submerge it all the way. Takes about 15 to 20 seconds. And then we're going to apply like I said before, some water with the headstock. And then what you're looking for here is for the decal to just start to slide away from the backing paper. So you got to be really, really gentle here and just kind of move your fingers back and forth until you start to feel it to move away. And then once it does, you'll feel it, but you don't want to let it soak too long, otherwise the decal will start to curl. So when you place it on the headstock, you want to have a little bit of the decal hanging off of the edge. And then you want to place your finger on the edge of that decal, and then with the other hand, slowly start to slide the backing paper off of the decal and try to keep it as level with the surface as you can. And just be really, really gentle with it. Doesn't really require any pressure, but you don't want to curl the decal or stretch it. So then once you've got it on the headstock, you're going to be able to work with it a little bit since you have the water on there already. So you just kind of move it to where you like it. And it looks pretty good right there. Then we're going to take just a regular paper towel and dab off the excess water. And what you're looking for is a nice even surface. You want to make sure there's no air bubbles, excess water pockets, curling, stretching, tearing, dust particles, anything that would make the decal distorted or not lay perfectly flat. I do have about 4 coats of Crystalac Bright Tone instrument finish on the headstock. And you want to have clear coat on there before you do this, otherwise it won't work. You want to make sure that it's nice and level and flat. And we're just going to keep removing any excess water and the air bubbles. Make sure that decal looks perfect. And it's really that simple. You just got to be gentle and just very careful with it. But it's a pretty easy process. There's really nothing to it. No need to pay somebody else to do it for you. And the end result looks really, really beautiful. Well, folks, I really appreciate you stopping by the channel. I hope that this was helpful in some way to you. I really appreciate a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. Again, I appreciate you stopping by. It really helps me out, and hopefully I was able to teach you something today. So hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll catch you in the next one.